Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do this really cool effect where you can take an object to control what this object right here does, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some kind of like an egg hatching type thing or, something like that, right? So what I'll do then is I'm going to turn this into a subdivided cube. I'm going to do Control 4. This is going to have a lot of stuff on it, right? And then I'm going to simply apply this. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to go into geometry nodes with this. I want to shade this smooth, okay? And now I'm going to do a new, and I'm going to do a few things here, okay? Starting with, I'm going to do an extrude. And now I want to turn off individual for this, okay? Okay, so now I have just this extruded mesh because if I turn on wireframe, that's all it is, just hollow, right? I want to add a join. Okay. And then I'm going to add another part right here of taking the original. Now we have two layers, all right? And I can even take this so it's a bigger offset, and I want it on the outside. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add this really cool thing where I'm going to do like a delete geometry thing, okay? Okay, we'll do delete geometry. And I actually don't want it on that one. I want it on this one. Okay, now, next thing that I want to do is that I want to have something to control what gets deleted on this, okay? So to do that, I can either do like a vertex group, a material selection, like in other videos that I've done, right? Or I can do something that is based on physical space where something is located, right? And so I'm going to get into another object here. I'm going to add an empty, and I want this just to be plain arrows. Okay. And I'm going to increase the size of this to 10. There we go. Now, what I want to do is I want to control what gets deleted and what doesn't get deleted on this. And that's with this extrude mesh, right? So to do that, I'm going to take a couple of attributes. So I want to take this empty and I want to bring it into here so that I can use that information of where it is. And I'll use that as a control. And then I want to set a position on this, or I want to use that attribute, I should say. So I'm going to do a capture attribute. Okay. So, and with the capture attribute, I'm going to be using that in the existing geometry right here. Okay. Now this one already has the location right here, so we're good with that, right? But I also want to add just the X attribute. I don't want to do anything else, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do separate X, Y, Z. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing right up here. So, but to capture this attribute, what I want to do is I want to do faces. I want to be able to delete the faces, but not the points or the edges or anything. Otherwise, you're going to see excess edges and points. So I'm going to add an attribute here. Okay? And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to say position. Okay? So this will get our position that we want. And now we have a position node. And in fact, what I want to do with that is I want to take that position and I just want to do the X attribute, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate. Now we have that. So we're going to compare the two X's. And with those two X positions, we are going to say if this X is less than this X right here, then what we're going to do is that we're going to delete, okay? So now we're going to add math. And I want to change this from add to less than. So we're going to do that one. And we're going to do that one. And then what we're going to do is that with this delete geometry, we're going to add this to selection. And then take a look at what you get there. So if I do GX, then you'll see it starts to delete geometry if that geometry is less than this empties X value. But if it's more than, it'll keep it there, okay? So now let's take it another step here, okay? So we'll make it just kind of look like an egg, right? Just to give you an idea on this. So I'm going to keep this material right here, and this will be our shell. So to do that, I'm going to add a little bit of subsurface value on here. And let's get our preview enabled here. Okay. Now I'm going to add some weight to this. And then I'm also going to add some scale to this. 0.3, we'll try. And so now you can see a little bit of like glow if, for example, there was a light that was being shined behind it, right? Okay, and I'm just going to call this shell. And then we'll do another one. It's going to be yolk. And then we'll do something similar right there. So with this one, I'm going to turn it to kind of an orangey color, right? Usually when we envision like a yolk, we'll see like that it's going to be like a kind of yellow color, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with it. I'm going to turn the roughness down so I get a lot more shine on that. Okay. And then I'm going to take this color, put it in the viewport display as well. Now, because this is also something that's non-metallic or non-wood, there's also going to be some subsurface scattering going on with that as well. So we'll do the same thing where we're going to add some weight to it. And then we'll also add some scale to it. 0.5, we'll say that, okay? And now, with that added, what we're going to do is that we're going to set the material on this by doing set material. And we're going to do the yolk. And now, if we move this over, GX, take a look at that. Isn't that cool? So, if we were to do a rendered view, I don't know if this is going to be really good for me because it's high geometry here. Okay, that's not bad. GX. But this is how you can do something where it's just kind of an egg object. And, you know, you can customize your cracks and do all that stuff. Like if you want to do something where there's going to be a hatching thing. You can also do like proximity nodes or something like that. But for this exercise, we're just going to show how an X value can control what that does. You can do it with a Y value as well. You can do it with a Z value, any of that stuff. So there's a lot of customization that is available for you. So anyway, that is how you do something like that, where you do some kind of like a geometry controlling condition on your geometry nodes. So let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know in the comments. Put a like on this if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory. Have a wonderful day, guys.